How much accountability does the typical homemaker really have? It's not the 50s anymore. You can't come home and go like, "Yeah, burn it again, Alice." Like it doesn't work anymore. You gotta be like, "No, it's better world. No, I like it this way."
It would be a better world if we could, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? I want my husband to come home and say, "I said 6 o'clock, bitch." You know,
dinner's cold again.
You know, like a clout round the head, rip off the clothes, quick sort of angry hate sex, and then
maybe this is a good topic next.
Dinner tonight was followed up with homemade apple pie a la mode.
We often discuss whether it's correct or not to hit a woman and the situations in which it's okay to strike a woman. This has been a topic of discussion for us many times.
Okay.
And so none of us think that we should be the aggressor in virtually any situation. I don't think there's anything that a woman could be able to say to me to instigate a physical reaction.
Yes.
However, if the woman attacks me physically, I feel like I am 100% in the right, doing whatever is necessary to make the attack stop.
Even if it's not with a weapon and she's doing like that windmill of nothing attack?
I'll take it a step further. I would say
throw a punch, but I will push your ass off me, and I might choke your ass.
In this hypothetical situation, if she goes in to hit you...
This all just sounds like sex to me as a gay guy.
And you're...
This all sounds like foreplay.
If she goes in to hit you, right? Then you're allowed to win that fight, right? You don't have to just apply the absolute minimum force to deter the threat. No, like if she tries to knock you out, I give you permission to try to knock her out.
Yeah, idealistically, yes, but I don't think you should because no one will take your side. You can't even be a gay guy like Milo and get away with that. Like,
even I couldn't.
I'm discussing right and wrong.
Get away with
if he were black, he could.
I have to...
Not even then, I don't think.
If she was black and he was black and he was gay, then he could beat her.
Yes,
that's true. That's true.
Some
that's
liberal
true.
math.
You're like progressive stacking right now.
Yeah, that's exactly. He's 3 levels up from her. She's got the one female level, but he's got the gay level, he's got the black level, and he's being attacked. It's a hate crime what she did.
Yeah, no, true. I could like go full Saw 3 on her ass, and I'd get out. I'd get away with it.
They try to get you for domestic abuse, and you're like, oh no, this was a hate crime. You see?
This is why I hate crimes. You know, I hate the idea of hate.
I'm with you.
Why should it be different? If you attack someone, it's because you hate them. If I hit someone with a wrench. If I hit a black guy with a wrench versus hitting a white guy with a wrench, I hated them both fucking equally. That's why I hit him with the wrench.
I didn't attack the black guy with the wrench. That's almost inappropriate. Like,
well, from a legal point of view, it undermines what ought to be a core principle of our legal system, which is equality before the law. What hate crime does is it makes it more of a crime to hit me than a straight guy. Now, I'm thinking to myself, frankly, like, I'm kind of an ass. Like, it's probably quite reasonable to hit me. Like, why should it be more of a crime to hit me than some other poor guy? Anyway, I have two thoughts on the hitting women situation. One is my natural chivalry. Because even though I'm a homo, I'm still a man, and I think
yes, Dennis, right? Can't help it.
I still have. I know, like I'm trying to get it out of myself. I just can't. My natural chivalry would instinctively, I want to say, restrain but don't hit back. Like even if you take a few knocks to the face, like it's a woman, like put up with it. That's kind of like. That's just sort of my natural instinct, but then I've never had like some crazy bitch come at me with a saucepan, so I don't know. And the second thing I would say is don't ever. I would just run. If I was a man in America today or a man in Europe today, knowing what I know about how law enforcement treats these cases, and this is my, I read a lot about this and I talk to policemen off the record all the time, what they're instructed to do in domestic violence cases to the men versus to the women. Like it could be a man's house and he's out of there, irrespective of what either of them say. If it's a domestic violence situation, the woman is just believed, full stop, no questions asked, like until months later when it eventually comes out in court. I would say, like, if a woman, it's not a natural instinct for a man. It's not your natural response. But I would say, as somebody who has heard from, because I write a lot about men's issues, so people write to me with this kind of stuff. As somebody who's heard from dozens of men who got into domestic violence situations that they did not instigate, that eventually involved the police. If a woman comes at you with, just comes at you generally, wanting to physically attack you, the only safe recourse is to run. Because if you don't, you're the one that's going to get arrested. You're the one that's going to get charged. You're the one that's going to lose your shit. You're going to lose your kids. You're going to lose your marriage. You're going to lose everything. No matter.
And this is why every straight white man. This is why every straight white man needs a lesbian friend. You bring her in, she whips the shit out of that bitch.
That's a good
walks
idea.
right away. Nobody does shit. You need a
We finally
lesbian
found the
friend
use
to keep
of
your woman in
lesbians.
line.
We finally found a use for lesbians.
Yeah.
You have done what I have been trying to do for 10 years. I'm so glad I came on this show. We found a use for lesbians.
There should be a
We need to
Craigslist
get an app
section
for
just
that.
for lesbian bullies. Or
Yeah,
after that. Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like flexing.
Aren't they terrifying? Aren't they
she's got a
scary?
pretty chick in a headlock, like fucking
Right.
killing her.
Neck tattoos, short hair.
You see, you laugh, but what you probably don't know is that the lesbian domestic violence epidemic is one of the great untold scandals of Western civilization. Nobody wants to know about this because no research is done into it because it's politically incorrect, and none of the gay charities want to tell you about it because it breaks the narrative of gay people being like perfect, special, glorious snowflakes. But the lesbian domestic violence epidemic is an astonishing thing. I wrote an article about it, which I very sensitively titled "Attack of the Killer Dykes," and this piece was about just the sheer statistical volume of woman on woman attacks. And I'm like, so I started, I said if you hear of a woman, being kind of like beaten up, left for dead, choked and all the rest of it, in a house near you, chances are it's not a new male serial killer. She probably just got into an altercation with her girlfriend over a triple word score in Scrabble because the sheer volume.
Is that what they do?
Scrabble,
Very into Scrabble, that culture.
Saga. Do you have Saga in America? Like Saga Cruises? It's like cruises. It's like a catalog for old people. Like you get to 50. You get to 50 years old and you can sign up for the Saga catalog, and it has like cheap holidays and like special offers for old people.
We have
anyway,
Skyball.
so lesbians like those, like cruises, cats, knitting, Scrabble, and not having sex. Do you know about lesbian bed death? Do you know what that is?
No.
I would
You never
assume
heard of that?
lesbians not having
It doesn't
sex.
sound as
Lesbian
hot
bed
as
dance.
I hope it is.
You can work it out, right?
It's like a great porno.
There's not. Yeah, well, it could be like like one of those one of those snuff movies, like lesbian bed death.
That's what I was
You got, like,
picturing. Yeah.
That's where you went, isn't it? You got like three really hot lesbians, and the guy just comes in, like fucks and stabs them at the same time. Like I'd watch that. So yeah, lesbian bed death just describes the phenomenon
I was
where
imagining that strap on that's a blade from the movie Seven, though.
that'd be
was the most
amazing.
upsetting
Like if the
scene.
strap on, you just like sort of took the sheath off, like the strap on, like the dildo was actually just a sheath, and it revealed this kind of like serrated blade. Oh,
Yeah.
mm.
This is my vacuum lock Rambo knife.
Could you guys give me a minute? Because no,
This is really a turnoff for me. Like this seems just,
this
yeah.
is not doing it
Oh,
for you.
talking
Having
to
sex with
lesbian-
women with a knife dildo is the least attractive thing I can imagine.
Are you more like kind of like soft, tentative, intricate symbiosis?
For
smooching
fuck's sake,
stuff
you don't
and-
have to be that not to like serrated knife dildos.
We're talking
I
about
actually
snuff
can't-
films.
actually-
Woody's
actually
very
getting to the
vanilla with
stage-
his dildo use.
I'm getting to the stage where I can't come unless there's a gun to my head, or I've got like a knife to my throat or something, because I have thug taste in boyfriends. So like I have to have like he has to be calling me like a white whatever and like with a gun to my head, otherwise I find it very difficult to get off. So this
Loaded or
might-
unloaded?
huh?
Loaded or unloaded?
Oh well, it's only happened loaded once, and it was pretty much the hottest thing that ever happened to me. I was just worrying about him slipping because I knew the
Yeah, there
safety.
has to be a real risk.
Well, I knew the safety was off because I looked, and I was like, honey, this is hot, but really, like, don't fall, because I could die.
That's awful.
Well, jeez.
Well, that took me out of my game right there.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
We're
about
in a
the-
slightly different universe. I'm not sure how we're gonna get back.
Have you seen that movie, Woody, Seven? With the dildo strap on and all.
I have seen Seven. That's the one where at the end there's a head in a box.
Yes, for
By the
anyone
way, people
who's
haven't
never
seen
seen
it.
it before.
Haven't seen it. Well, there
That
you
is
go.
the gigantic, such a
It's like a
gigantic.
1999 movie.
Have ruined
Okay,
that in
fine.
fewer words.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Next
favorite-
I'm giving
favorite
away
tweet
the
is
end
mine.
of Gone with the Wind.
What's in the box?